So in today's episode, I'll be sharing with you 5 scholarship opportunities for those who want to go for their masters or for their PhDs in mathematics or statistics. It is really difficult to find programs that do offer substantial funding for mathematics, but here we are. I was able to pull through, and I am sure that you would also enjoy the content of this video. So buckle on your shoes and tighten your belt. You are in for a ride. Hi, welcome again to another episode on Chrys-O. If you are a visiting viewer, thank you for tuning in, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you for the encouragement. And for those of you who do not already know me, I am Chris. I'm a graduate student at the Fraser University in Canada, where I study philosophy, and I am also on a fully funded scholarship. And in this YouTube channel, I talk about fully funded scholarships mostly for humanities and social science students or social science and humanities opportunities. But I also do talk about scholarship in general and other tips for applying for scholarship. So if you are someone who is looking to go to graduate school and you're looking for scholarship opportunities, you're obviously in the right place. Come on in. For this episode, I'll be doing something that I have not done before in the 1-year period of this channel. I'll be devoting time to talk about scholarship in the sciences, in the natural science, in particular in mathematics and statistics. So most my channel is always primacy of place is given to humanities and social sciences, but today I'll be touching upon mathematics and statistics. In this episode, I'll be sharing with you 5 schools in the US and Canada that offer fully funded scholarship: the University of McGill, University of Toronto, University of Simon Fraser, my school, yay! All these 3 schools are in Canada, and then the Illinois State University and the University of Minesota, all the 2 of them in the US. So if you studied statistics, I do hope you find the information I will be sharing in this episode useful. Yeah. So before I delve into the videos, into looking at the funding that each and every one of these schools have, here are the things they require to apply for these programs. First and foremost, you must have your for both the masters and the PhD, you must have your transcript. You should have at least 3.7 GPA. That's a first class or a 2-1 at least. You should have that. You should have your statement of intent or statement of purpose, or whichever name it is called. You should have your research proposal. Unlike the humanities where you have writing sample, this program, mathematics, is particularly asking for research proposals, but not all the schools ask for research proposals, right? So McGill asks for research proposals, but University of Toronto does not ask for research proposals. Then you need to fill the online form where you give your education history and the rest, and then you need to submit your CV, and then 3 letters of academic reference, or 3 reference letters from your professors or from those who can attest to your academic preparations and prowess. So that is that for the things you need to apply for these programs. You do not need to contact professors beforehand asking them to be your supervisor for this program. That is another good thing with these programs that I've particularly selected. Yes, you do not need to these are just what you need. You do not need to contact professors beforehand. So let's look at the funding each and every one of these schools has. So beginning with McGill University, McGill University offers what I call substantial funding for their masters and their PhD of course, fully funded PhD program, and substantial funding for their master's program. Substantial because it does not cover their base. It's not, so it is they offer, their base funding is substantial, right? Meaning that they pay your school tuition and then pay a little bit of your health insurance, and you still have small money for living stipend, for living expenses, right? So their masters is like that. Their masters of their base funding, meaning this is not just the only funding they have, just that the minimum funding they offer is substantial for their master's program. And then for their PhD, of course, it is fully funded. So let's see, for an international student going to this school, you have their master's program is 16 months, and for the first 12 months they will give you 18,000 minimum funding. There are other funding you can apply for and get in this school. For example, graduate entrance entrance scholarship. Since this school is in Ontario, you also qualify to apply for the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, OGS. So for the first 8 to 12 months, they'll be giving you 18,000 in minimum funding. And then for the second quarter, that is 13 to 16 months, they will be giving you 9,675 Canadian dollars. And then the tuition for this program is 21,972. So if you do the plus and minus, you will realize that you have like 5,000 extra for based on this minimum funding, right? However, for their PhD student, they offer like full funding. They offer 36,450 in annual funding, where the tuition for a year is 20,000. So if you do the plus and minus, you would have like 16,000 left after you paid tuition and paid all those expenses. So this is substantial funding. It is good. The second school on our list is the Department of Mathematics at the University of Toronto. So this school has two kinds of masters that is geared towards the PhD, and secondly masters that is just masters, terminal masters, and both of them are 1 year. So the terminal masters do not have funding, but the masters geared towards the PhD is fully funded. From their website, they said students admitted to the doctoral stream masters program are fully funded for 1 year at the master's level. Funding is limited to 4 years at the PhD level. So let's see the kind of funding they have for their masters or for their PhD. Like it is the case, I did not see any information regarding that 1 year stream, PhD stream masters, but I made an intelligent guess that whatever applies to the PhD applies to that 1 year master's program. So if you check, they made a table that has funding details for the first year. So for the first year, from these charts that I have, for the first year, which supposedly is the master's year, right? They will give you $16,918 from internal awards, and then from research stipend they will give you $12,247 dollars, and if you add that together, you'll be having around 29, even almost 30,000 Canadian dollars. So from there, this is annual funding. So this funding also covers the health insurance. So health insurance and living stipend is covered. They will just take away from this funding, they will take away your school tuition, which in this school is around 8,000 Canadian dollars. So you have enough money. Anyways, Toronto is a very expensive place to live. So yeah, the funding is justified. So to apply for this program, you do not need to contact the GRE, you do not need to contact the professors or supervisors beforehand. Like I said, everything that I've said about applying for these programs apply to this particular program too. University of Toronto. So the third school on our list is the Illinois State University in the United States of America. Both their master's and their PhD program is fully funded. So fully funded by or through graduate assistantship, which attracts or includes tuition waiver and health insurance coverage, and then living stipend of 1,300 for master students who are doing full-time assistantship, which is 20 hours per week for 9 months. That is, if you add that together, that's about 11,000 US dollars approximately. And then if you are doing a part-time assistantship, graduate assistantship, you'll be paid $650 per month. And then for their PhD students, you'll be paid $1,480 per month for 9 months. So US has a separate system. During summer there is no school, so you fend for yourself. You can get summer internship or something. So remember, this funding is base funding for the department. There are others. So if you go through this website, especially on their website under financial assistance for graduate students, you see other kinds of funding. They have funding like mathematics masters award, which is $2,000 US. They have different kinds of award: Bonnie Litwheeler Scholarship, Mathematics Department PhD Bursary Award. So they have different funding that you are also qualified to apply for. But the base funding is this what I've already listed out. And remember, summer is not covered by this base funding. That means they would also have a separate kind of funding for their summer time. So do not forget that. For Simon Fraser University, the funding is full funding for both the master's and the PhD, right? So in fact, in my estimation, Simon Fraser University offers the best funding in terms of mathematics. Their mathematics department has good funding. So from their website, what we have is they have 23,000 Canadian dollars for their masters for each year of their 2 years masters. And then for their PhD, they offer 26,000 per year each year of their 4 years PhD, right? So 26,000 per year for PhD students and 23,000 per year for master's student. Don't forget, the tuition for this school is 5,957, so approximately 6,000 Canadian dollars for international students. I think international student and domestic student pay the same thing in this university, so there's no differential payment. So this is their base funding. They have other kinds of funding that you are qualified to apply. So if you take away 6,000 from 23,000 for masters, you literally have about 17,000 in living stipend, which covers both your health insurance and your living stipend. So that is good amount of money to spend in BC, British Columbia is really expensive place to live. So this funding is at least manageable. It's cool. It's better than I think it is better than the rest of the schools that we have mentioned. So if you're applying for master's program or for PhD, gone for Simon Fraser University. so go to Simon Fraser University. I highly recommend Simon Fraser University. Anyways, that is that for this school, and let us move to the final school. We are now down to University of Minesota in the United States of America. So the first page to go to is their master's page, School of Mathematics, their master's page. So what do we have here? Application deadline is for fall 2024, right? Admission deadline is between February and March 2024, so you have time. But the application will open September 1st 2023, so next month admission will open. And then they have different kinds of mathematics. They have financial mathematics. Financial mathematics, do not apply for this financial mathematics. It is not funded. So under tuition and funding, they said the MS program are unfunded with the exception of the MS with an emphasis in math education. We recommend that applicants interested in funded program apply to the MS program at University of Minesota, Duluth. I hope I pronounced that word very well, Duluth. So yeah, so for their typical main campus or something, their masters on that campus is not fully funded. So they have a link. By the way, GRE is not required. So they have a link that lead us to this MS in Duluth, right? So let's see what they have. So for this program, financial aid is available for several students every academic year. Tuition waiver and a paid teaching assistantship position. Our student body is typically 25 to 30 students and is very diverse. So we have seen, I don't think I found any particular information as to how much they are offering for their master student, but be rest assured that this program is fully funded through graduate teaching assistantship. So for their PhD program, application deadline is December 15th. So if you want to go to their PhD program for next year fall, that is 2024 fall, the application deadline is December 15th. Please do not forget that this program, if you have a strong BSc degree, you don't need to apply for masters first. You can apply to this PhD directly. So under tuition and funding, they said the PhD program is fully funded. Most of our students are funded through graduate teaching assistantships, typically in the form of a teaching assistantship, right? Funding offers are renewable up to 6 years. So no GRE, and funding is guaranteed for 6 years. So their funding minimum stipend for their PhD student, I also reckon for their master student, is 22,000. This is the minimum. And remember, tuition is waived. You are not paying school fees, and then your health insurance is covered. And there are other scholarship and summer funding that you can apply to. Remember, this funding is just the base funding. So there are other funding. I know in the US it's just 9 months of funding. So there are other arrangements for the summer, which every admitted student can also leverage upon. Just some additional tip before I leave you. If you want to apply to this program, make sure you have a good GPA. If you have a good GPA, like a first class in mathematics, there's no need to apply for masters. Apply for the PhD straight, or you can apply to both of them, right? Apply for masters and apply for PhD, whichever the one that works best you choose, right? Then secondly, application. Don't forget to apply to these schools. Application opens by 1st of September and runs through to December 15th for most of the schools, especially the PhD programs. Then at most January, February is the deadline at most for all of them. First week of January or first week of February. Don't forget, application opens next month and runs through to December 15th for most of the schools, and then I think one school is February next year. So take note of that and start making your start making preparations to apply. So that is what we have for today's episode. I do hope I did not talk too much, and I do hope that you also enjoy the content and you are going to resolve to make use of these opportunities. So without further ado, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share with your friends, share these opportunities with your friends and acquaintances. Yes, thank you very much, and see you next week. Bye bye.